Got urgent breaking news coming out of Southern California, where a church in Southern California was probed by possible terrorists. Now, you guys know here at Christian Warrior Training, we discuss church-related security concerns, and we give you training on how to secure your church for free. And you know that I come across intelligence bulletins from current and former law enforcement that are upset that our government isn't releasing this information to the churches to protect them when ISIS is called for churches to be attacked. And they want this information to get out to you to protect you. Now, this particular bulletin came from a private entity. It came from a private entity that does a really good job at protecting churches and did open source intelligence on somebody that was probing a Southern California church and discovered some Taliban connections. I'm going to give you all the information I have. And I just want to remind everybody that as we go forward, that you're going to freak out and want to turn your church into a bunker. We can't do that. But we are at a severe risk of attack. We are at severe red on the church security threat level system. Now, I have no doubt that this video is going to get demonetized by YouTube because of all the keywords that are being put out here. If you always go to christianwarriortraining.com, I always put out the information there first, and I am not censored over there. So make sure you head over there, subscribe to the newsletter. Do me a favor, it's free. But if you like what I'm doing here and giving all this information, because it is my full-time job, I am doing this full-time, plus overtime, I would appreciate if you did a paid subscription. I will never charge, but it helps me help you get the information. Also, make sure you follow Christian Warrior Training so you get all the latest updates. All right, let's get into the details for this. Now, this happened on January 12th, and I'm not going to name the specific church. If I name this specific church, when anybody Googles it to go to that church, this incident is going to come up and it's going to scare people away. I'm not going to list that church. I do have the name of the church. It's a real church. We're good to go there. It's just not pertinent to put it out to everybody. Now, at this particular church in Southern California, 3 individuals of Middle Eastern descent were observed to engage in suspicious activity on the church property. Now, the behavior included taking video and photos of various areas with cell phones. And they provided inconsistent answers when they were questioned by church security team members, and they initially claimed that they didn't understand English. This is all typical probing behavior that we put out to you. In fact, you can go to christianwarriortraining.com, take a class on recognizing terrorism activity in your church, get a certificate of training, all free. Now, when they were approached by the church's safety team, law enforcement was notified right away. Now, the agency that responded, I have trained that agency in the past. I have friends that work there. It is a great agency that is very good to go. Now, when they questioned those people, 2 of the individuals provided ID, including a limited term driver's license. Now, a limited term driver's license is often issued to those with temporary residence status. Now, the 3rd individual provided only verbal ID. Now, remember all the people that came out of Afghanistan on that lift when Joe Biden screwed up Afghanistan in the withdrawal, and all those people came to America. I just want you to think about that for a moment. Now, law enforcement released the individuals on site because they had nothing to arrest them for. Now, the incident, a lot of people are like, why didn't they make an arrest? There's literally no law violations here, okay? So the incident was referred to Joint Terrorism Task Force for further evaluation. JTTF guys in Southern California are squared away. I have no doubt they're going to jump all over this. Now, a private entity group started doing open source intelligence on the people, and it showed that they had connections in Afghanistan, specifically a specific region within Afghanistan with terrorism activity. Now, his social media accounts included images of himself in traditional Afghan fighter attire, holding weapons and interacting with individuals on that social media page who made pro-Taliban remarks. Now, this discovery, it underscores the importance of open source intelligence capabilities within your church. Now, why does this matter? I've been letting you know about all of the escalating threats that are occurring in the United States. If you follow my newsletter, it has been rapid fire. I have so much stuff in the pipe to get to you that is just normal everyday training, but the information is coming out so fast, I can't even keep up with it. It is currently almost 9 o'clock at night, and I have not stopped working since 7 a.m. this morning. Again, I want to remind everything that ISIS called all of their followers to attack American churches. Now, as many of you know, I often receive intelligence bulletins like this. Most recently, the last bulletin I put out, I included the intelligence bulletin with redacted information so it couldn't be traced back to my source. But I wanted to show to you that I actually get this information. I am not showing you this bulletin because it is from a private entity that doesn't want their name out there for obvious reasons, because they're doing great work, by the way. And I know they're watching. Thank you for all your hard work. But they are letting us use that information to let you know. And just on a side note, everybody just do a quick prayer for that private group. They're good people. They're doing a dangerous job. I know they're in a high-risk position, but they're getting this information to us. They emailed it, or not emailed it, but texted it to me like an hour ago. But just know that I've been solid on all the information I've been giving you. I hope you understand why I'm not releasing this information for everybody. All right, so the observed behaviors that we talk about here, the recording of the property, providing inconsistent statements, and initially feigning a language barrier, they're all consistent with reconnaissance tactics used to plan attacks on a church. Now, open source intelligence further revealed those Afghanistan ties, including pro-Taliban associations. Now, this demonstrates the value of gathering information and having good open source intelligence. We can't rely on the government. We have to do it on our own. We have to be our own police officer. Now, churches in the Southern California area have been notified. I know some churches are going to be like, wait, what? I have not heard about this. I can't release the information to you. I know it is being slowly disseminated to all those Southern California churches. Everybody should be on alert though. Okay. And there's nothing in the intelligence bulletin that I'm going to tell you that's going to make a difference. Just a heads up. All right. Now I got a little call to action for you guys. This highlights the urgent need for church security teams to strengthen your vigilance and your preparedness. It's not enough to rely on reactive measures. It's not enough to rely on the police. Proactive steps have to be taken to deter and respond to these threats as it escalates. You need to have a heightened awareness. You want to train your team to identify pre-attack indicators like unusual surveillance activity, individuals taking photos or videos of sensitive areas, or inconsistent stories when questioned. Look, I'm working day and night putting information out to you, including interviewing JTTF agents investigating Hezbollah. I put these videos out, and a lot of you guys might watch 5 minutes of it. You got to watch the whole thing, including the whole video of this. Most people will only watch this video a quarter of the way through, and then most people have left already. You've got to look at every email I send out. It is a constant flow, and people are like, well, what about this? Yeah, I sent an email out 3 weeks ago about whatever. Go use the search function. Get in there and look for what you need. There is a class on exactly what I just talked about looking for surveillance activity in your church. Go over to ChristianWarriorTraining.com, hit that training tab, and look at all the classes. You'll find the class there, take it, and you'll have everything you need to know. You need to establish an intelligence role in your church. You want to designate an intelligence officer for your team to monitor suspicious activity, gather open source intelligence, and liaison with local law enforcement. Now, this is an invaluable position that we can see because here, this private group did open source intelligence and found all this information. You want to strengthen your security protocols. You want to review and reinforce access control measures, including parking lots and main entrances. I just did a video on how terrorists are now doing vehicle-borne attacks and running people over. You're going to have to watch that. I did another one 12 hours later about an alert put out by a private intelligence group about an increased risk of suicide vest attacks, meaning body-worn IEDs. We haven't had many here in the United States. You're going to have to go back and look at all that. It is all there for you to do. I don't put it on YouTube. I still haven't had time to do the suicide vest video for YouTube because I know they wouldn't allow it anyways. They'd have problems with it. You want to develop plans, like clear communication protocols within your team and within and with law enforcement, so that when something happens, you can act quickly and get people there very quickly. I need you to conduct training drills. Regularly train your team to respond to threats, including scenarios involving suspicious persons, reconnaissance behaviors, or crowd disruptions. I want you to focus on prevention. Encourage your team to adopt a mindset to deterrence. I want you to collaborate with law enforcement, strengthen that law enforcement relationship so that way you can find somebody in that agency that will give you the information that they're not supposed to give you. I want you to anchor yourself spiritually with this, right? I want you to seek discernment through prayer. I want you to pray regularly for wisdom, discernment, and strength for your team. Nehemiah 4:9 reminds us of the balance between faith and action, where it says, but we prayed to our God and posted a guard day and night to meet this threat. I want you to reassure your congregation. Some of them may have heard about this. They might be freaking out. Just let them know that while the threats are real, your team is prepared and operating in faith. This can foster a sense of calm and trust among your church members, kind of help calm things down a little bit. And you want to lean on God's promise, right? Isaiah 41:10 says, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You want to encourage your team and your congregation to draw confidence from God's protection. Now, I have tons of resources over on the original intelligence letter that is going to go out at the exact same time as this video. I'm not going to do any fancy editing. I am literally just going to cut out the dead air and then post it up. There's going to be some, not misquotes, but this stuttering, right? There's going to be some of that in there. This is raw. This intelligence just came out. I think it's super important for you to know about it right now. When you leave here, I want you to do three things. Number one, get over to ChristianWarriorTraining.com and sign up. I have 127,000 followers here on YouTube and only 36,000 receiving the email. It should be 127,000 people receiving the email. Get over there, right? There's good information for you. I'm not giving up on YouTube. I'll still do some videos, but this is really difficult, man. This is a pain to deal with YouTube and their algorithm and everything that is going on there. So get over there, Christian Warrior Training. Get your training for free. If you want to do a monthly subscription, I would appreciate it. That helps me keep doing this. It does cost money. It is my full-time job. This is how I pay my bills, but also because I love you. I love this community. I love our Lord, and this is the best way for me to serve, okay? Next up, I want you to pray for discernment and for protection for your team. And I also want you to remember your ABCs. Always be caring,